Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Welcome to another edition of WDW After Dark. Good evening, everybody. We are so glad that you are joining us to talk a little bit about Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, everything, all of it, the Disney parks. We are here to have a wonderful time and enjoy some Disney talk with you. I'm Jeff Davis, in for Al John, who is currently on the road trying to do his best to make it here in time to join us for the show. Mr. Eric Allen is having some car trouble. He literally took a picture of his car and with the hood up, so he's having some engine troubles. He may not make it to the show. And William Hershey is gone as well. So it is, well, it's not just me. No, you don't have to look at me the entire time or listen to me the entire time. The other talking head that is joining me this evening is Miss Kristen Hoetzel from WDW Tiki Room and from Dining at Disney. Kristen, it's the Jeff and Kristen Show. How are you? How you doing?
This is the first time we've had a Jeff and Kristen show.
It is. We have never had the opportunity for it to just be me and you talking. It's been me and Eric before. It has been me and Will before, and it's been me and Al John before. But this is a first for me and you. So this is going to be very, very interesting because we have a few news items to get to here and there, but both of us this evening have got trip reports to talk about and lots and lots of different things to talk about when it comes to what happened on our trips to Walt Disney World the week prior. So,
yeah. Tons of stuff to talk about.
Not all bad.
It's probably a really good thing that's just you and I, because otherwise we could have probably turned this into like a 3-hour show.
I could imagine that happening, yes, and 100%, you know. So we'll talk about that. But real quick, I do want to mention our sponsors here on the show. They're the ones that keep us running, and we're able to bring you this program every single Friday night. First one I want to talk about, Magical Journeys Vacations. Kristen, why is it that people need to talk to you when it comes to booking a trip to Walt Disney World or Carnival Cruise, Disney Cruise Line, or anything else? What's the benefits of Magical Journeys Vacations?
Well, first of all, it doesn't cost anybody anything to use me.
Right.
Whether you book with Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Princess, Disney, Universal, you're going to pay the same price for the same package. The difference is I keep track of all of my clients. If a deal is available, I automatically apply it when they book. But I also keep their file there in case a better deal becomes available, and I have everybody done in order of their travel date. So when I find out, okay, this deal's been released, I have everybody's folders pulled out, and I look and see what applies to who, and get on the phone, call Disney, and I'm like, okay, I need to get the free dining deal added to Jeff Davis's package. And like
there we go.
They said, well, we don't have it for that resort. And I said, okay. And had them price some other ones. And ended up getting you for less than you're already paying at Pop Century. I got you over at Port Orleans.
That's right. That's
with
right.
free dining. So it's one of those things that turns out to be really nice, and that's always exciting to do, and it takes the worry off of other people,
It
unless you
does.
like to do all of those tedious things. It's something that I can do, and as many times as I've been, and gosh, I've been more than 40 times now to just Walt Disney World.
Goodness gracious.
I
Wow.
know, right? And all of my trips have been between either like 4 or 5 days and as many as 11.
Oh my goodness.
And
Wow.
every year, Alton and I take one that's 10 or 11 days.
Yeah.
My family
Good.
thinks I've lost my mind, and I go about 6 times a year. It's either Alton and myself, or I go with Natalie and her son Spidey, who is
Right.
8 years old. I'm waiting for the day that I can now call him by his name. I completely understand why. You don't want somebody who watches or listens to one of these shows. It's kind of crazy to try and kidnap your kid and go, hey, blah blah blah, and they think, I know your mom, that kind of stuff. So I understand why she does it, but it's a very different experience to do a couples thing and to do a thing with kids. They
Sure
want
it
to
is.
go
Yeah.
do the great piggy adventure and interventions. You're like, really? I don't want to do this. Or Habitat Heroes. And I
Right.
actually really enjoy doing those things. She does them every trip with her, with him, and so she gets tired of it. But I have fun doing those things because I don't have any kids yet. So, and I treat him, he's kind of like, I have adopted him as my nephew. So it's kind of fun to do all those kind of kid things with him. And, he
Right.
likes, you know, Perry the Platypus and all that kind of stuff, kid stuff. And I watched some of those shows. I watch Good Luck Charlie and Dog with a Blog, and so I'm like the cool aunt then. Because it's like, wow, you watch Dog with a Blog? Do you watch Jesse? Do you watch Austin and Allie? And so, and I'll pen trade, so I go with him and do the pen trading or the vinylmation trading.
Right.
And so that's one of the other advantages. I go as much as I do, and I go do adult-only trips, and I've been to the park alone before, and I've done them with kids. And so it's one of those things that you ask questions of something you don't know. Kids are really good. I have the answer.
That is definitely the benefit of using Kristen, Magical Journeys Vacations. My last 4 trips to the Walt Disney World have been booked by that lady right there, and I have never had a single problem at all. So if I'm going to recommend somebody, it's going to be Kristen, Magical Journeys Vacations. Even though Halloween is over with, why not go and get a nice costume, probably for maybe an upcoming Comic-Con or anything else. Check out Halloween Express. It's also one of our sponsors here on WDW After Dark, along with Amazon.com, where you get price, selection, and convenience. It's always real nice. And then also Fandango, big movie that just came out, Big Hero 6. Want to get those tickets before anybody else, before it sells out, you need to check out Fandango. Also, direct2drive.com, download and play in minutes over 2,000 PC games. And also, finally, well, not finally, but entertainmentearth.com, where you can check out premier worldwide retailer of action figures, toys, gifts, collectibles, and a whole lot more on the internet. So check out entertainmentearth.com. And that's it. But like I said, Halloween Express, direct-to-drive, Fandango, Magical Journeys Vacations, all of that stuff. Keep us going here on WDW After Dark. We would definitely appreciate it. All you have to do, you have to buy anything or anything, just click on the link, and that kind of helps us out. We are going to do some Disney news this evening. We'll do some Disney Parks news, and then we'll get into some Disney dining news as well, because things are kind of ramping up a little bit for the Thanksgiving holiday at the Walt Disney World Resort, and things are starting to slow down, literally, for the Food and Wine Festival as well. So we'll talk about Kristen's trip. She said she took a lot of pictures, so there's a lot to talk about when it comes to all that stuff. But I do want to start with some Disney news, and everybody already knows about this, but I figure I'd say something anyway in case you've been living underneath a rock or anything. There was a fire on the newest attraction at the Walt Disney World Resort. The Seven Dwarfs Mine Train caught on fire last Saturday night, little bit after 10 o'clock, and it was from what Reedy Creek Fire Department has said from the Magic Kingdom fireworks show that was going on. An ash from the fireworks actually fell onto the top of the attraction and got some of the fake grass that was caught on fire. And it was down for a little bit over 2 hours. They literally had to use a ladder to go up to the top of the attraction to put the fire out because it was not an accessible area from anywhere else.
Wow.
But, yeah, they were able to get everybody off the ride. They were able to get everybody out of the queue. No injuries reported. Shut down for about 2 hours, maybe a little bit more, and then they opened it right back up and said, hey, come on in, come enjoy the attraction. I know a lot of people were probably going, crap, I haven't gotten to ride this yet, and now it's going to be closed down for X amount of time. I mean, who knows?
Wow.
But thankfully, they got it back open, so I'm guessing they'll just replace some grass, and that's
You have to
I don't
wonder
know.
how many times that's gonna happen, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you do wonder that sometimes. And the thing is that I've also heard that in the past, ever since the Little Mermaid attraction opened in the new area of Fantasyland, that the top of the castle has also, Eric's Castle has also caught fire before because of ash from fireworks. So this isn't the first time that something like this has happened. But how do you fix that? It's kind of impossible to fix that problem unless you move the location of firing the fireworks somewhere else. But that ruins the effect with Wishes and so many other different shows that go on that take place behind Cinderella's castle. The effect of all of it, right?
Oh yeah. I
I don't know.
would think they kind of thought that through ahead of time. But
You would think, but I don't know. It's a random thing. It doesn't happen all the time. Maybe it was just the wind that blew it in there or something else. But I tell you this, social media went nuts. I mean, there was automatically a post on YouTube, and then everybody started sharing the link. They were sharing the link. I mean, and I saw, gosh, within the first 30 minutes, 40 or 50 different posts of people talking about it, and then the rumors started flying that it was a massive fire and all kinds of other, and it wasn't. It was just something small. It was containable. It was easy to put out with the ladder, of course. So you do what you got to do, and they opened it back up, and everybody's okay. So quit freaking out. Take it easy. Jeez. It's not that bad. All right? And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, here's something interesting that I thought was really cool. Disney Photopass is definitely advancing in leaps and bounds. But now what they've done, they've taken Photopass and they have automatically synced it to your My Disney Experience account. Check this out. If you've been to Walt Disney World within the past 45 days, or if you intend to go over there anytime soon, any Photopass pictures are now taken automatically and uploaded to your My Disney Experience account. It came from a recent Disney Parks blog this past week that says the automatic link can be used by visitors with or even without a Magic Band, and that's hard to believe that people don't have Magic Bands at this time when you see them all over the place. The photo link connects automatically for anyone, and all you do, if you don't have a Magic Band, you take the ticket that you have, the card, you go to a touch point at the Magic Kingdom, and that's currently over at Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. They've got one at Space Mountain, and I believe Splash Mountain as well. And what you do is you take your park ticket, you touch it to the device, and all those photos are going to be synced to your account. So you don't have to worry about them whatsoever. And they're going to be installing more touch points in different locations. They're going to be doing it at Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and also Disney's Animal Kingdom sometime in the near future. Other upcoming improvements will include more attraction videos linking to the My Disney Experience accounts. And if you want to, purchase the Memory Maker package if you want to share those videos or anything else. But stay tuned to WDW After Dark and also for blog posts over on Sorcerer Radio at srsounds.com when these updates do become available. And Kristen, I noticed when I started looking at my Photopass pictures from my recent trip, I saw where they are taking photos when I don't know that they are.
Really?
Yeah, like on the mine train. There was nowhere for me to scan my Magic Band or anything else, but somehow Disney technology has set it up to where when you're riding in a certain point in the Seven Dwarfs mine train, it takes a picture and it shows you video. I didn't even sign up for it, yet there's video of me on the mine train, and there's pictures of me on the mine train. I went, "Are you kidding me? That is so cool."
That's kind of creepy to me, though.
How's it creepy?
How does it know it's you?
Well, they probably have a sensor somewhere around in the area of the attraction. They're on the track.
They can spot you in the park at every second.
Well, it's not like the CIA is checking your
they could have like
account or something.
you have these little points throughout the place that like track you down.
Maybe Disney is working with the CIA. Maybe this is a conspiracy. I don't know. But I thought it was neat. The fact that they can just scan your Magic Band even though you're going by that quickly. Like when I went to the Be Our Guest restaurant for lunch, it boggled my mind how do you know I'm sitting at this table when I don't bring my food with me and you're not looking at my ticket or anything? You just bring it to my table and you say, "Here you go, Mr. Davis, here's your food." I thought that was interesting. I thought that was really neat technology. But they've taken that type of technology and they've put it into attractions to not only add photos, but they're also adding videos. So even more of the attractions that you're going to visit while you're on your Walt Disney World vacation are going to include more videos and more Photopass options for you to buy. Basically another way for you to spend money. That's all it comes down to right there.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Not that I bought any pictures or anything else like that.
You know, I still have never received an email as many times as I go to do the Be Our Guest lunch.
The Fast Pass, the new Fast Pass testing?
Uh-huh.
Huh. Because I received one. I know Will received one. He wasn't able to get a reservation. I was. I don't think it is an option to choose from when you're putting together your Fast Pass Plus reservations yet. Because
it's not.
Yeah.
I hate that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to go there for lunch, but I am not waiting an hour to an hour and a half.
I honestly believe it probably was an hour, maybe longer, the people that were waiting in line to eat. And I think I waited maybe 5 minutes, if that, because you bypass that entire line on the left-hand side, and you go right up, and within 5 minutes you're ordering your food, and then they just bring your food to the table. And I'm like, well, how are you doing that?
I want to do that so bad, and I haven't. Every time Alton I've been over there, it's been anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half late, and I've told him, I'm like, I cannot wait that long.
No, I'm not waiting that long. No.
Food. To me, that's crazy.
It is crazy. It is.
Think of all the things people could be doing in that hour and a half. One of them being spending money in a gift shop.
I could just go over to pay those bills again.
On that money by people standing in line waiting to eat.
That is so weird. Wow. Hour and a half just to eat lunch. Not worth it. Not worth it in my mind.
No.
All right, so you got the Photopass options. We do want to talk a little bit about the upcoming holidays at the Walt Disney World Resort. And the Disney website suggests that this year's Disney Parks Christmas Day Parade, get ready for this, who saw this coming, will be based around Frozen.
No!
Yeah, Frozen all over again. Heading into its 31st year, the 2014 ABC Disney Parks Christmas Day Parade will be titled Disney Parks Frozen Christmas Celebration. Now, the parade is typically filmed in early December at both Disneyland and Resort in California, and, of course, the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida, although no details have been released for this year as of right now that I know of. It has been speculated, though, that there may be some significant changes to the format for this year after the parade has followed a very similar pattern in recent years. The shift towards Frozen would probably be a change that a lot of people would like, especially the kids, when getting to watch it on Christmas Day. But the Disney Parks Christmas Day Parade will air on ABC on December the 25th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Kristen, is it too much just because it's Frozen to add it to the Christmas Day parade at the
I
Disney
feel
parks?
so. I'm starting to feel very frozen out.
It's
It's just
they're
everywhere.
too much, right? They're pushing too much, and I think, in a way.
Everything. I mean, you can't. I missed going to Animal Kingdom last month and the month before when I was there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Frozen's over there, but we know it's in the other three parks, and it's to me. I just feel like it's too much now. It's like
It's almost
everything
annoying.
is frozen.
It is. It is. I totally agree with you. I'm choking from all the Frozen, literally.
I mean,
So we
look,
can
we
get
all
off.
taken over once upon a time. So I don't know. Disney needs to just calm down a little bit with all the Frozen stuff.
Can you imagine if possibly Big Hero 6 was bigger than Frozen? I mean, would they change all the parks around just for Big Hero 6? Not that I didn't see a Big Hero 6 presence in the parks while I was there. There's plenty of stuff around in the stores, billboards, all kinds of different things going on. But then at the same time, still Frozen this and Frozen this and Frozen this. And now you're taking a time-honored tradition with the Disney Parks Christmas Parade and turning it into Frozen. It's a little overboard for me. I just don't know if I'm going to. Now I don't know if I actually want to watch it.
Well, the thing is for those who are Disney fans and visit the park that aren't huge fans of the movie, it's too much
It is.
already. You're like, I'm so tired of seeing Frozen. Doesn't Disney have anything else other than Frozen? But if you're not and you watch that parade every year, I think those people, like my family, is going to be then. I could see them being disappointed if they overdo Frozen with it. Because then you're going to be like, what is the deal with this movie? Why is it all over this parade? Like, can we not just see our favorite characters? We love the Fab Five.
We do.
We just
Yeah.
do that.
Keep it simple.
I mean, not everybody who watches the Christmas parade is a diehard Disney fan.
No, not at all.
A
You're
lot
right.
of those people that are just, they like some of the movies. Maybe they don't ever see an animated movie. Like my parents haven't. My mom watched Frozen with me, but she hasn't seen an animated movie since I was a little kid, and she took my sister and I to theater and to see all the re-releases.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
they
interesting.
don't watch the movies. They don't go to the Disney parks. But do they like some of the Disney stuff? Of course.
Yeah. And for a lot of people who don't get to go to the parks like we do, whether it be a couple of times a year or every year, that is their little bit of Disney magic every single year. That they get to see the parks, they get to see the characters, and they do talk about attractions every now and then and everything. That's kind of taking away from them, in my eyes, by simply turning it into just a big Frozen parade. And if that's the case, send it over to the Hollywood studios then. If you want to do a Frozen parade, send it over to the studios. That's where it should be. It doesn't need to be your focus for one of the biggest parades of the entire year. You've got the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and you've got Disney's Christmas Parade. I mean, those are the two big ones of the year. This is a show that they have won awards for.
Yeah.
So that was kind of disappointing news, but for a lot of kids, I mean, they're going to enjoy it. So maybe I'll just DVR it and skip, fast forward through all of the Frozen parts that I don't want to see, so I don't have to worry about it. I guess that's the next best thing that I can do. I don't know. Just have to wait and see. Well, Disney has filed some building permits paperwork for what is speculated to be a third theater for the very popular attraction over at Epcot, Soarin'. Now, we all know the attraction's had some long lines ever since it opened back in 2005. And with it being one of the only major rides at the park that can be experienced really with the whole family, the introduction of FastPass Plus capacity has been a problem when it comes to Soarin'. So we're seeing a pattern here when it comes to adding a third track for one of the biggest attractions at Hollywood Studios, Toy Story Mania, and now we're seeing another area where you can get on and enjoy Soarin'. So they're trying FastPass Plus. I have my problems with it after I've now experienced it, but I find it interesting that they're trying to compensate a little bit for the long lines that you're dealing with when it comes to them just letting FastPass Plus people in and making the standby queue even longer than what it was before. But we are, going to see what happens. It's a lot of people are still calling the Toy Story Mania expansion a rumor. I don't think it's a rumor anymore. I think Disney is moving forward with that, and that's why we're seeing this paperwork being filed for Soarin' over at Epcot. So we'll watch that real close and see what happens. Also, real quick on Photopass, I mentioned it before, but they're also introducing some new animated magic shots that go with your Memory Maker package. I saw some video on this today. It's building on the existing magic shots that you already do, with a cast member, whether it be on Main Street USA or in front of Spaceship Earth or anything else. But what happens is it features a character overlay on your pictures, literally. The magic shots now expand to include animation in the form of a video clip. Right now, there are 4 locations for magic shots: Epcot behind behind Spaceship Earth. I'm sorry, Disney's Hollywood Studios on Hollywood Boulevard with the hat, which is not going to be around very long. Epcot at the Norway Pavilion. We know what this one's going to be. It's going to be Frozen related when you're sticking it in Norway, for crying out loud.
It's not Norway anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it Arendelle now?
Yes, it has to be, because there's nothing Norway left except for the dude's perfume.
That's
everything else is gone. They took out the little mini museum that had Eric the Red. That's been gone and turned into Frozen. Almost the entire gift shop now is Frozen. Oh, you still have Kringla.
Oh, Be Still My Heart.
That's still there. So that's still Norwegian.
So I guess you could call it Arendelle.
But Maelstrom's gone. That's going to be Frozen.
Yeah.
Is Princess Dining, so it's never really been. It's been a long time, I should say, because it used to be just a Norwegian restaurant.
I will say this about Maelstrom: at least the waterfall is still running. That area where you were backing all the way up on your boat, and you would hear the water falling. That's still going, but there's a big black curtain in that cave right there. You can't see what's going. So maybe it'll stay a water ride. I don't know. Maybe so. But if you do want some magic shots, you can also do it over at the Animal Kingdom on the bridge near Expedition Everest as well. Guests who have purchased the $199 Memory Maker package will be able to download the videos of the animated magic shots. So check all of those out. And I've got one more to talk about. Big Hero 6. And I believe, Kristen, didn't that debut today, as a matter of fact? Big Hero 6? It did.
Yeah.
Well, Big Hero 6 is now inside and available at Disney's Hollywood Studios if you want to meet the characters. The magic of Disney animation, you can find Hiro Hamada and Baymax in Hiro's Garage Workshop. The meet and greet is the Wreck-It Ralph meet and greet, although both Vanellope and Ralph continue to appear in Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas parade over at the Magic Kingdom. I think they should have probably put them somewhere else other than just seeing the parade. I remember seeing some construction on that. I tried to look through the big walls that they had up, but I really couldn't see much. So
I think they need a pavilion of rare meet and greet characters, because they still have all those costumes from characters that you don't ever see anymore. So why not put them into a pavilion and swap them out, rotate them? Every day it's not the same one.
Wonders of
you
life.
Go in and see Darkwing Duck one day, and then the next day.
Cool. Yeah, I like that idea.
Michael's son.
I like that.
Well,
Like, let's see. Well, I mean, they've done different things like during the summertime for, times to see villains or characters you don't normally see on a daily basis or anything else, but making them available anytime. All the forgotten Disney characters that you could see.
yeah.
I do like that idea. I do like that. But it is nice to see how quickly they turned around and got the Big Hero 6 cast in there and people able to enjoy getting to meet those characters. I'm curious how big Baymax really is when you meet him. Because Ralph, he's huge.
Yeah,
he is
yes.
massive. I mean, his hands were massive. And Baymax is a big character himself. He kind of towers over his friend and everything. So take advantage of it while it's still there. I'm guessing it'll probably be around for maybe a couple of years. I know that Wreck-It Ralph and also Vanellope, they were there for a couple of years over at the Magic Disney Animation at Hollywood Studios. So go and see them. Take the time to walk in there and stay in the AC, sit down, enjoy yourself. Whatever you gotta do, check them out at Disney Hollywood Studios. Those are really all the headlines I've got. There wasn't a lot going on at Disney World. Even while I was there, aside from fire over at the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, yes, it was a quiet week. And then, well, there was one more thing, and this is unrelated news. John is not here. From what I have read, filming has been completed for Star Wars Episode 7, and now they are in the post-production phase of editing, sound effects, and that's literally going to take a year or two. A lot involved. But they also just, I think it was yesterday, announced the actual name for Star Wars Episode 7, and it will be called The Force Awakens. I don't know if that tells us anything or not. I'm trying to read into it and go, obviously there's going to be a Sith presence. Obviously something's going on with Luke, and it's hard to say. I am doing my best not to look at spoilers and check out Twitter for the different pictures that they put up and everything. When I see this film, I want to see it without knowing much of anything at all. That way, when that first scene opens up or when this happens or anything else, I go, wow. Read all the tweet and everything else. It ruins it for you, does it not?
I don't like to be spoiled by things. Like last year, was it last year? Maybe it was 2 years ago. And I went with Natalie to Universal. And we're in line for something, and she made a comment about it. I was like, oh, this is a roller coaster? She's like, do you not look this stuff up? I said, no, why would I look it up? She's like, I like to see things before I experience them. I was like, no, I want to be in complete shock. Like, I want to get on it and have no idea what's going to happen. Otherwise, I feel like I've done it already. And what fun is that? Jeff, you're frozen.
All right, so after a brief technical error, we are back on once again. Jeff Davis and Kristen Hoetzel, it is WDW After Dark, and we're wrapping up the news segment, well, at least my segment, with a little Star Wars talk, and spoilers, Kristen. I don't like spoilers. I don't like tweets on the new Star Wars episode. How about you?
I have never, ever been a fan of spoilers. or viewing something ahead of time. You know, like so many people, there's all these videos of like parades and attractions and stuff like that when they happen if you're not there. I don't want to watch that. No, I don't want to see it. I'm not going to watch it. Like when we've done them on the show, I don't look at the screen. I sometimes walk out of the room because I just don't want to see it. I want to be surprised. I want it to be a completely new experience and not go on and go, oh, you know what? I remember seeing a picture of that. Or, oh, well, I remember seeing that in the video that, you know.
Right. Exactly.
Andy shot, whatever. But, so yeah, I'm not a fan of spoilers.
Well, I'm going to try my best not to read into this, naming of Episode 7, The Force Awakens, too much. Because then if I do, I'm going to start researching, and I'm going to start looking at it, and I'm going to see tweets and Facebook posts and pictures and everything. I don't want to do that. So, but we do know Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, coming in 2015, December next year. So a lot of people very, very excited. I'm excited about it. I've even got Return of the Jedi playing right here on the TV next to me. So a little something to see out of the corner of my eye. But anyway, that's all of my news for this week. We're going to go ahead and move on to food news with Kristen. And I know you've got plenty to talk about for this week, Kristen. What you got?
Before we do, though, I want to mention that little tidbit of information I found on Google. Was it Google? No, it was Yahoo. When I was going to check my mail this week. And I found on there this article, and it was titled, Why Mark Hamill Owes His Star Wars Role to Robert Englund.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm a huge fan of Robert Englund. I have seen multiple times all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, even the ones I don't like so much. But what I found out in this article was that Robert Englund had gone and he had tried out to get the role of Han Solo.
Oh, wow.
Which, as we all know, is Harrison Ford guy. But he was told when he was there that he was too young. And so then he, I guess, had asked about Luke Skywalker. And he was too old for Luke Skywalker. So he had gone home and he said, this is the quote from the article. It says, and then I went home and told a little kid that was sleeping on my couch after a 6-pack of Heineken all about Star Wars. And his name was Mark Hamill. And I said, hey, Lucas is doing this space movie. Maybe you're right for it. The lead guy's like a teenager. And he goes, so Mark got on the phone to his agent, and I think he went up the next day. He nailed it, and the rest is history.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, how cool is that? That Mark Hamill would not be Luke if it were not for Robert Englund. Because he never would have auditioned for it.
And at the same time, Freddy Krueger would not be Freddy Krueger without Robert Englund.
Yeah, looking at that situation, I'm like, I'm glad he was not in Star Wars. Because there's nobody that could play Freddy Krueger.
No.
Like Robert Englund. I mean, that role.
He was made for it.
Everything about it is just perfect for an evil villain character. I think Disney should put him as a voice actor in one of the animated movies.
As a villain?
As a villain, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. Yeah, that's a very good idea. A very dark villain.
Suggestion for you, Disney.
Yeah. Listen, Disney. Yeah, come on. Wake up. The guy's really good. I mean, gosh.
And I've got a few of my little things, my tidbits of stuff have touched on things you've mentioned. One of them being Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
Over at Disneyland, starting today, they have inspired foods. One of them is a teriyaki street dog. It's a teriyaki glazed all-beef hot dog served on a garlic chive roll topped with wasabi mayo, ginger, carrots, and cucumber slaw.
Ooh, that sounds.
Like that, and it looks really yummy. I want one. That's
That does,
available
yeah.
over at California Adventure and Award Wieners. They're also offering a drink that is a refreshing coconut milk tea. It's served cold and has coconut and lychee flavors.
Ooh, yummy.
And for people who love Baymax, they have a Baymax sipper cup that you can get at Tomorrowland Terrace, Tomorrowland Lemonade Cart, and both those are over in Disneyland. And then Award Wieners, it's available there too. But I'm like, and of course it's only for a limited time, but I'm like, that's so cute. I want a Baymax zipper.
I would love to have one of those. That sounds neat.
I think we need to contact Big Bubba and be like, hey, Big Bubba, can you get this?
Can you pick this up for me? Yeah. I get you. Yeah, I would do that too. Golly. Food inspired by Big Heroes. I never would have saw that coming. No.
Disney finds a way to have every movie inspire something food related.
Well, we know what frozen food would be. We know what Little Mermaid food would be.
Sushi.
Of course, I don't know if it would be proper to serve fish when it comes to Little Mermaid inspired food. I'm trying to think here. A list of different Disney movies that could inspire food. I don't see anything happening with Toy Story. We know what has gone on with Beauty and the Beast. What? Okay. Ratatouille. Yep. Jungle Book. Doubtful. Everybody does fruit. I mean, my gosh. I want to see Star Wars inspired Disney food.
You need to go during Star Wars weekends.
Do they have, I mean, like real good, like pulled from the movie type of named food for Star Wars during that time?
No, I don't know what they did this past year because
I mean, aside from the cupcakes, forget the cupcakes for God's sakes.
They did
Disney and their
stuff
cupcake obsession, you know.
This year they did some stuff. I didn't see it firsthand. Aljon did.
Okay.
I'll tell you, that Darth Vader cupcake is killer. I'm not a cupcake person. It's too much sugar. It's too much cake. I've always been the one that's like, I just want a little piece. Like, give me just a sliver. So, like, I love cake pops. Not Disney's cake pops, but, like, Napa Rose over at Disney Grand Californian has phenomenal cake pops. But there's a perfect portion for me. It's like 2-3 bites of cake and I'm done. I'm like, yeah, great. Cupcake, I don't even eat half of a cupcake. But that cupcake, I'll finish. It's that good.
See, now you're making me hungry already. We're only a couple minutes into it. Jeez. All right, what else you got?
Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and Raglan Road is doing a traditional dinner again this year. It'll include a Bunratty mead glazed turkey served with butter whipped potatoes, apple sage and sweet onion stuffing, braised Brussels sprouts, cranberry and plum chutney, and traditional gravy. Now, there's more often than that you can order off their like regular dinner menu, but those are things that are available for those who want to enjoy a traditional Thanksgiving meal.
Yum, yum, yum. Gosh.
And then I have one last bit of information that just came through yesterday, and it is that the new restaurant that is replacing Cat Cora's, the what is it called? Trattoria al Forno. Please forgive me for being so stuffy today. It's not especially when you're trying to say stuff like that. But their breakfast menu has been finally announced, and some of the menu items are a waffle with espresso mascarpone cream. You have a choice of bacon or chicken sausage.
Ooh.
There's also a poached eggs, fennel sausage, Parmesan, and tomato gravy served with soft polenta.
Oh, man.
You can get cured Italian meats with tomatoes, hard-boiled egg and cheese with fonduta, frittata with roasted red pepper, prosciutto, onions, potatoes, and pecorino romano cheese topped with arugula.
Oh, golly.
Two of them. And the prices aren't bad for breakfast either. The least expensive thing is the vanilla blueberry steel cut oatmeal with maple syrup for $6.99. And the most expensive item is the cured Italian meats, and that's $12.99. Oh,
That's
and they
really
have
not bad on prices. That's really good, Kristen.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And if you have you tried those sparkling waters, right? That
Yes.
they have flavored. Well, they have those there, but they also have more than just the blood orange and the lemon one. They've got a mandarin and a grapefruit as well that are available there.
Yum. Golly.
I'm like, ooh, I like this.
Disney food porn. That's what it is. That's
Right?
all you described right there. Good gracious alive.
You should be me trying to write some of these food articles. When
You
you're
must stay hungry a lot, don't you?
When you're trying to write, you're like, oh my God, I think I'm going to die of hunger.
I mean, how do you stay looking the way you do, Kristen? Because you talk about all this fantastic food. It would make me want to eat constantly.
I guess I just move enough that I'm not
You're active.
as I should be. Oh, my mom always says that. She's like, you're lucky you have a fast metabolism, because otherwise you would be huge.
I tell you this. I remember, what
Not
was it?
fair.
I think it was 5 years ago. Was it 5 years ago? I guess it maybe it was. Maybe it's 4 or 5 years ago. But I remember you handing me that DVD that you made for me that had like 12 or 13 episodes of Cooking with Mickey on it.
Uh-huh.
And so it was a slow day at work one time, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna throw that in. I'm gonna have that playing in the background, while I'm doing emails and the different things. And I think it was a Friday that I was watching. That's why it was so cool. I watched the entire DVD, the whole thing, all those episodes, and I walked out of my office so hungry. I came home and I devoured whatever it was. But man, it's just
The bad thing about stuff like that is you read something or you watch something, you're like, oh my God, that sounds so good. And then you're craving that food or you want something similar to it, and you're like, where am I going to get something like this now? Like, it's 10 o'clock at night.
Exactly. Your only options are like Sonic and, Burger King, for crying out loud. You can't go and get this other stuff that you're talking
And that just doesn't
about.
cut it.
Oh, man. No, it does not cover it. It does not quench that need for Disney food. Because there's just something about it that's just, it's like those ribs and everything that I had at Whispering Canyon. I'll talk about that later. I'm not going to talk about it right now.
Okay, so I don't have any more food news, so let's get into the trip report.
Trip reports. Okay. You go first.
Okay, let's see. I have more food to talk about because mine was a working vacation. Because I had both weekends. The first weekend, I stayed at Waldorf Astoria, and they also treated Aljon and I to a few of their Food and Wine Weekend events. The last night for those is tomorrow night, and I highly recommend for anybody who is there right now, try them. Oh my God, everything they do is phenomenal.
Try it.
Because I had done the Bull and Bear one. I already talked about that one and said that was amazing.
Yeah.
But the other ones that I did, this trip, there's one called The Art of Sushi Pairing. And it comes, the bento, it's a bento box, and they change every weekend. It's not the same menu. The menu changes Therefore, the prices change.
Right.
The bento box that we got, you had your choice of either doing a sushi, or not sushi, sorry, doing sake or doing wine. So Aljon decided he wanted to do the sake. I figured, well, we got to do the other one. So I ended up with the wine. If I had to do it all over again, I would do the sake.
Yeah.
It just pairs better with the sushi and the seafood.
Mm-hmm.
However, the wine was great too. But you got 3 glasses of whether it be sake or wine, your bento box, and you left full. Anybody who's been to Tokyo dining, it's a larger bento box than theirs.
Oh, wow.
And ours was either $30 or $35 is what it would have been per person.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really good price to leave, have food and cocktails.
I would have thought it would have cost more than just $35.
Yeah. Top-notch service.
Oh, I bet it is.
Food, I mean. And then when we were done with that, she had also set it up that we could get experience their, it's called Bar du Chocolat and Champagne Tasting.
Ooh.
And it's in the Peacock Alley, which is their lounge, and it's right off of the lobby when you enter Waldorf Astoria. And if you love chocolate, any kind of chocolate, it's a huge table with varieties, like everything from cookies, cakes, different kinds of pastries, truffles, you name it, and it's chocolate, it's on this table. And they also have champagne. Everything is paid for by per item.
Mm-hmm.
So they cost. I asked, and she said they're going to be anywhere from $2 to $7, and then I can't remember. I want to say the champagnes. I would have to look at my photos, but I want to say they started at like $12 and went up for a glass of champagne.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't. It wasn't. It's not like the stuff you get, the cheap stuff that most of us buy for like New Year's Eve. It's like good champagne.
Yeah.
So we did that and tried a few different pieces of chocolate. Didn't finish them, so some of them we had brought home. But
nothing wrong with that. I would not complain bringing them home.
Gosh. One of them was what looked like a little, it's similar to the ugly cookies that they have over at Via Napoli with that one dessert. It's like a very soft, gooey kind of chocolate cookie that has powdered sugar sprinkled on top. Oh my god. This is so good.
So good.
But we did those.
Sounds good.
I just think it's a fantastic event that they do there. I mean, they do it just for the weekend. So, like, on Sundays, the only thing that's offered is their royalty. And I've been told by others that it's better than the one they do at the Grand Floridian.
Oh, wow.
So I told Alton, I was like, next time that's on our to-do list, because I believe they do that more regularly. It's not always exclusive to just food and wine weekends. I think I remember them doing it sometimes in the spring as well, but oh yeah, it is really nice. We really enjoy it. The hotel is absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's phenomenal. I mean, it was really nice. We hung out at the pool that day and didn't do anything, just hung around the hotel for a whole day.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah,
It was really, really nice.
Yeah.
A way to spend a day. So we did that. And then it was on to Food and Wine Festival over at Epcot. We did 4 days at Epcot.
Wow.
We did half a day at Magic Kingdom, half a day at DHS, and never entered Animal Kingdom.
Wow.
That's how much, I had to make sure I hit every single place that I had not.
That's a lot of food and wine for 4 days worth. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you guys were doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I figured maybe it would be, day and a half or something. I knew you were going to do a full day of going around the World Showcase, but I did not know it was going to be 4.
Yeah, we just couldn't finish it. I was like, I have to go back. I have to get this. I have to,
Yeah, yeah, sure, yeah.
Because if those menu items show up on the 2015 menu, I need to have those photos of that food.
For the next book, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So, yeah, that's a lot of fun. I mean, you
Were
can't
there
go wrong.
any big disappointments this year for you for Food and Wine?
I don't know. I'd say there were any big disappointments, but I do wish that every location had new menu items. Some of them had a completely new menu, like hops and barley, completely new menu. Hawaii, same food for three years now.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah.
And I want something new. If you want to keep those two things because people love them so much, at least add 1 or 2 items to be rotated out on that menu.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, I've done this how many years now?
Like,
I want something new. I've got to try new things.
Here's a good example, for instance, like for the booth in France, just 1 year not have the snails. And then you can have the snails again the next year, right?
The escargot is different this year.
Was it? I didn't try it.
Oh, it's completely different this year. I was not a fan of that at all. I want them to bring it back in the brioche. The escargot and the brioche was so much better.
I'm shocked that you didn't like the escargot.
I was not. I don't like the way it was prepared. It just wasn't all that good. But they had a new menu. The only thing that they kept was the beef. And the beef is really good, so I understand why they kept that on their menu.
I did have a chance to go over and have a beer at one of the booths. And I noticed this booth simply because it seemed like there was a little extra effort put into it being there. And that was Puerto Rico. Because it was kind of set off to the side a little bit.
It's
had its own tables in its area and everything else. What is the deal with Puerto Rico? And it looks like they actually really put some money into their booth and had everything set off to the side. What was so special about that one?
I don't know. They had a representative from Puerto Rico. What's her name? Maria. I'm drawing a blank on her last name. But she did an awful lot of culinary demonstrations over the entire festival. So I am guessing that the Puerto Rican government put a good bit of money into Food and Wine to promote tourism there.
Now, a couple weeks ago, we had talked about how Puerto Rico was wanting to bid for a new spot to be the new country in the World Showcase. Would you see that as them building up their Food and Wine presence, campaigning towards something like that?
If that's true, absolutely.
Because from what the news report said, they're dumping millions upon millions of dollars into this campaign to be the new country in the World Showcase. So why not? I mean, food is a universal thing. It is the way to literally learn a culture and experience a culture firsthand. It's just by eating their food. And to me, it would make sense for me to start with the Food and Wine Festival for me to get Disney's attention and say, this is the type of stuff that we have to offer. Aside from the other types of culture that Puerto Rico has, here's what our food has. And this is what our restaurant could possibly have and everything else, right?
I think it's also a way to really bring awareness to Puerto Rico, considering it is part of the U.S., so a passport's not needed to travel there. And I think it's a way to bring that attention to continental U.S. You get people who are like, oh, I never really thought. Maybe we could take a vacation to Puerto Rico. That might be kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
I'm telling you, if anybody visited, they gotta go to the Bacardi factory. That's a cool tour to get to do. And the Bacardi, their bottles are larger and they cost less than ours.
Oh, that's a dangerous thing with me. Jeez.
Oh, I bought some and brought it back.
I bet you did.
Uh-huh.
I'll bet you did. So no, back to the disappointments again. So nothing really that just flat out disappointed you this year with Food and Wine.
I don't think the culinary demonstrations were as good as they had been in the past. As you know, I don't eat lamb,
Hmm.
and we had booked the Be Our Guest restaurant demonstration. One of the rules is when you book it, you're stuck with it. There are no refunds, anything like that. Well,
Right.
I'm standing in line and I look down and I'm like, that recipe on the table, that's not poultry, that's lamb. So I got out of line and asked one of the cast members, and he said, oh yeah, it's going to be lamb. And I said, that's not what was on the book. I don't eat lamb. I said, I booked this when it said it was poultry.
Right.
He said, well, you can choose this one or this one today. And I'm like, well, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does.
I really didn't want to go to either of the ones they were giving me a choice to go to, but I'm like, well, we spend the money. It's $15. I have to choose one of them.
Right.
Well, technically it's then $30 because it's Aljon and myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't happy about that, and I did not like the Bunratty presentation. We just heard stories. I wasn't happy enough that I stopped by the information desk and said that I did not find that presentation to be an acceptable one.
It
That
wasn't
I've been.
worthy of what they normally do, in other words.
Normally they tell you the process of making it, about the land, I mean, things like that you want to know.
Yeah.
You don't just hear stories of Scotland, and she asked, or not Scotland, sorry, Ireland, and she went and she asked other people, oh, who's been to Ireland? Oh, tell us about your experience. Did you visit this place? Did you visit that? And I'm like, I don't care what this guy's trip to Ireland was like. Great, he went to Ireland one
Not
day.
what I'm paying $15 for, right?
I didn't, yeah, exactly. I didn't pay 15. I can go to a bar and pay less money for the same drink and hear stories from people. Like, that's not how I want to do it. But I will say the mixology ones year after year after year have impressed me. The people that put those on are fantastic. And I actually bought a cocktail book from that one of the presenters had done. Her name's Bridget. Her and the guy that was with her is Phil. And in previous years, we've done demos with them. They're really entertaining. Their cocktails are so, so good.
Yeah.
And they're just like the ones that they make. Sometimes they're not. You can tell it was made in a big batch and nobody wanted to test it out and make sure that it was just like what they're making on stage. But they do. And Philip actually had brought his cousin with him. Her name is Kat. And the three of them, each of them took a turn and demoed a cocktail. And they explained to you about the type of product they're using. And they'll take questions from the audience. If you don't like this in it, you're like, oh, hey, can I swap it out for this? How will that be? Or, all kinds of things like that. But they're really good, the mixology ones.
Well, that's good. At least that part they didn't ruin that part for you. I mean, my God.
No. And then the only other thing is we did the Food and Wine Classic, and love that event. I mean, $95
It's worth it.
for the wristband. They give you one of the little plastic plates like you see at Food and Wine Festival with a plastic wine glass that comes with it that latches onto it.
Right.
It's all you can eat, all you can drink, unless you buy tickets, and then you're gonna have to spending $150 to eat and drink if you want one of everything. And the nice thing about it is if you take a bite of something and you go, ew, I don't like this, you can throw it away and you go back and you try something different. Or you go, oh my gosh, this lobster shooter that Todd English has put together is fantastic. I want another one. You go up and you say, I want another one of these, and they give it to you. It's unlimited. Food,
And you
drink.
don't have to pay all over again to try it. I mean, that's
No, and everything's
that's a great deal.
gourmet. Everything that is made showcases the best of what every restaurant at Swan and Dolphin have to offer, and it's really impressive what they do. You can buy the wine, so when you stop by, there are all the presenters from the different vineyards or beer or sake, and they'll answer any questions you have about their product. You can buy it. They have a shop there that sells, things like glasses that say Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic, but they have like a whole big case of wine that's for sale. So if whatever your favorite wine was, you can go in there and buy it and take it home that night.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And this
That's
should be
what I
out of the
need.
beer garden, and that was really cool. That was an upgrade. It was $20 more. Tons of beer in there, as well as German food. You had pretzels with a variety of mustards. There was Wiener Schnitzel with German potato salad, and it was just...
Yeah, keep going.
It was just really good. Talking about it, I'm like, man, why can't it be there this weekend? Why don't they have it more than one weekend? But they only... I understand why they have it, because they have to have all of their chefs out there working, and Todd English is there every year for that.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. Got a chance to interview him. That was a lot of fun. And we're working out to hopefully have him be a regular interview for Dining at Disney. So.
Oh, awesome. That is good news. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I heard that you got to try a brand new margarita over at La Cava while you were there.
Yes. Did you go in and try it?
I did not get a chance. Every time I would go, I tried going over there about 2 or 3 times, and there is now a queue line, to get inside of La Cava these days. And I went,
Bar only.
I'm not waiting that long. I've got other things I need to do. Yes, I didn't get to try it. How was it?
It's good. It's sweet. It's frozen, but it's good.
Was that the only thing that you
line, and now that line, when you go up and you get that line for the bar,
Yeah.
it's to go only. You can't stand there and drink it.
Oh, really? They won't let you do that anymore,
No,
huh?
it's to go. There it's to go because it's so busy. So you walk up, you grab your drink, and you head out.
Now, is that line for food and wine purposes only, or do they take it down after the festival's over?
I don't know if they're going to keep it or if it's just for the festival, but the past couple of times I've been there, they've had that set up.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's just for the festival, but I would think they're probably going to do that anytime it gets to where the park is really busy.
I guess that's a Twitter question that you can ask La Cava over on Twitter, and they're real good about answering questions too. I've noticed with their Twitter account, they stay on top of that very, very well. Because La Cava is a fantastic location to just sit back, relax, enjoy a drink, enjoy a snack, whether it be chips and salsa or something else that they have on the menu. And it's you get away from everything. It's quiet in there and just perfectly themed. Perfect. I love that place. But I was disappointed I didn't get to go in. But
I can't believe that because I know you were going to get your friend to do the scorpion shot with you.
Yeah, and I was worried. I said, you know what? The amount of people that are probably showing up, I guarantee you they probably don't have a scorpion either. And so I said, you know what? It can wait. I can wait another year. No big deal. It's okay. It's okay. I've got other things that I need to try. So we moved on. I didn't get to do that.
What else did you try while you were there?
Oh gosh, a couple things here and there. I'll get to it in the trip report. You might be a little disappointed in me this time when it comes to food and wine, but
I have a feeling because you had lunch and dinner planned for that day, so I know how that works.
Yeah, you know how that works.
I know what that means. That means barely snacking.
Any other big highlights for your trip report?
Nothing I can really think of. I mean,
The
The
highlight of the
only,
trip had to be the hotel, though, getting the upgrade at the hotel and getting to enjoy that. That had to have been the big part right there.
I would have to say both of the weekends, doing the Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic, interviewing Chef Todd English. Um, I just love to talk to people like him that love food as much as I do, if not more. It's a whole different thing when you're talking to people that feel that way about food. So that, and then of course Waldorf Astoria and checking out their events. Those both of my weekends were fantastic. Oh, and we stayed at Coronado Springs, and their staff is always amazing over there. We love Coronado Springs and all of their cast members. Especially, we love Gail and we love Lisa. They're two of our favorite cast members that we stop by and see every time. And the manager, Louise and Rami, they're both amazing too.
Outstanding. Sounds like you had a good time on your trip.
I did. It's hard to have a bad time on a vacation.
It is. It is
Unless
hard.
a whole bunch of things happen. I mean, I even fell twice on my trip and still had a good
Why are you falling on your trip? What, are you having walking problems?
well, the one night I was at the Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic.
Too
And
much
I had
drinking.
heels on.
Too much drinking.
No, I hadn't started drinking yet because I was taking pictures. I was there for like working, and I stepped on the edge of a stone. Where there was like a walkway stone. You have the garden stones, and I stepped on the corner of it in heels, and ankle turn, and I fell and bruised myself and cut up the side of my hand and.
Oh. Wow.
And then I just wasn't watching where I was stepping the other time playing mini golf and tripped over the curb that they add around it. So fell into a bush. So I was all scraped up from the bush. Yeah.
Yeah, take it easy on yourself, Kristen. Good gosh.
I know. I need a suit like Baymax has. Big Baymax suit. And when I fall, I can just roll. Nothing get hurt.
Not have to worry about it. Just hope that you don't come across any needles or nails or anything, because then you bust a hole and you got to use tape. You got to put it on. So.
I have the little tire patch stuff on me. I have to carry it back to follow that stuff. Oh, cut. Let's repair.
Fix a flat. That's all you need.
Yep.
Good stuff. Outstanding.
Okay, so it's time to talk about your trip.
Okay, so I took a little detour on the way to Orlando, first off. Went to Jacksonville, Florida first for a football game with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins. My friend's a big Miami fan, so we had to go to that game. That was a pretty good trip. Unfortunately, where I stayed, things didn't go so well. It was very loud, didn't get much sleep, and the people in the room next to us were smoking weed.
Oh,
so
nice.
when you smell that in your room all night long, it kind of puts a damper on things. But
So you had a contact buzz then from all that.
Yeah, just a little bit probably. But you know what? When we checked out, I made my point very, very well to the manager, and ended up getting a night back.
Oh, that's good.
From my stay, and they sent me a survey, and I strongly worded survey I filled out for them when I got back. But anyway, like you had said before earlier in the show, as we headed to Walt Disney World, got to stay at the Port Orleans Riverside. And Kristen, I talked to you about this when we met up over in Mexico at Epcot. And the distinct difference between a value resort and a moderate resort. It's not just the way the room looks. Maybe it's a little bit bigger of a room. Maybe the bed be a little more comfortable. It's themed a certain way. To me, it was more toned down. It was more quiet.
Don't you love the quiet?
I would step out of my room, and normally when you're at a value resort like the Pop Century or something, you step out of your room, and what do you hear? You hear kids screaming and parents chasing, and just there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of people. But while I was there, it was the perfect resort to stay at for my trip, because I got back to my room. It was quiet. I slept well. The transition that they have done with the Port Orleans from when I first stayed there, when it was Dixie Landings, to now Port Orleans, is fantastic. That resort just looks fantastic. I like the theming for Riverside better than I do for the other side, Port Orleans.
The- for,
French Quarter.
yeah.
I think it looks a lot better than French Quarter, to be honest. But the room was fantastic. First day, did the Magic Kingdom. Well, no. First day, when we checked in, we headed over to Downtown Disney, and we went ahead and did do a Disney Quest that afternoon before dinner that evening.
Oh, that's right. I almost forgot you did that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. A lot of great games that I have not played in a long time. A lot of new games that I never played before. So the opportunity to do all those and just go through all 5 floors of interactive entertainment at Disney Quest is something I definitely recommend. And it came with my, vacation package, 2 free admissions to Disney Quest. So if you get something like that, take advantage of it and go. Because it is a good time. It's a good way to keep your kids contained,
Well, Alton and I had planned on doing that, but at the beginning of the trip, I had gotten sick. And I made and I didn't realize I was getting sick, and had the day that I left, I got a flu and a pneumonia shot.
Oh.
Then I ended up sick. Your body it was like too much bombarding my system at once.
Yeah.
You can't get sick from that, but if you already have, the cold virus in you, it's just not gonna.
Yeah, I've got my shot coming up on Wednesday. Yeah, I know what that's like. That's
But
tough.
yeah, we missed doing Disney Quest because of that. But we did take advantage of the mini golf.
Yeah, you get mini golf vouchers as well in your packages, But
Did you
I had
do
never.
golf?
No, we didn't get a chance to do the mini golf. It kind of ran out of time on that one. But I had never gotten the Disney Quest one before, so I had to take it. It's been over 10 years since I visited Disney Quest, and they did that in Chicago. So that was a lot of fun. We went to dinner at Ohana. That was my first trip to experience Ohana before. Dinner reservations were a little bit after 9 o'clock, so we also got to watch Wishes there from the restaurant, because all of a sudden the room just filled with music from Wishes, and then, of course, you see the fireworks going on. It's a fantastic view. Food was really good. Very, very good. I was very impressed with it. The dessert was fantastic. Oh, I could have ate that all night and been very happy.
I love the chicken wings.
Oh, man. Golly gee whiz.
And now I want some chicken wings. I'm gonna have to text Alton and be like, you need to bring me chicken wings on your way home.
Bring me chicken wings, please. So, yeah, dinner there was fantastic. Loved it. My friend Robbie, he loved it as well. He loved the theming of the restaurant. It was really, really good. I'd like to go back there again. But the next day we went to Magic Kingdom, and it was interesting. It was my first experience really with the Magic Band, my first experience with FastPass Plus. And our very first reservation for FastPass was for Space Mountain. Early that morning, I guess it was about 9:30 or so is when it started. So we did a couple of things in Tomorrowland, then we headed over for Space Mountain. The attraction was closed. And I went, well, crap. I've got a FastPass Plus reservation for this attraction. What do I need to do? And the cast member was very helpful. She said, go ahead and log on to your My Disney Experience account, and you'll see on there that you now have an open FastPass Plus reservation for the rest of the day. When an attraction goes down and you have a FastPass Plus ready to go for that attraction, they give you an option for select Walt Disney World attractions there at the Magic Kingdom. You can do one between that hour and closing that evening. So we ended up doing the Haunted Mansion later on because it was open. I could choose any one that I wanted to that was available. So I avoided.
I'm guessing Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is exempt from that.
Very, very much exempt because that was the first thing I looked for. I went, oh, great, I can get Seven Dwarfs. No, I can't. Okay, there went that option. So I did somewhat avoid disaster on that. That was kind of nice. Went over to lunch at Pecos Mills like I always do to have my burger and my cheese sauce and my onions and mushrooms. I love that place. It's so good. Went ahead and had my Dole Whip over at Aloha Isle. My friend Robbie, he went over to see Anna and Elsa and also Cinderella and stuff. Well, I did a couple of things myself. That
So
evening,
he went and got his pictures with the characters?
he did. He did that for his daughter because his daughter is a huge Frozen fan.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
he wanted to get pictures for her and also get their autograph, so he did that for her. That was fantastic. We went. Where did we go for dinner that evening? I'm trying to think. Oh, okay. That was the evening for the Whispering Canyon Cafe dinner that we had. I have never done Whispering Canyon before at the Wilderness Lodge, so that was another new experience. Yes, I did ask for ketchup, and yes, I did end up with 30 bottles of ketchup on my table. I was thirsty, so I did ask for a large drink. To my ignorance, I did not know that I was going to get the biggest mason jar ever made put on the table for my large drink, which was really, really good.
How big is the mason jar?
Kristen, I wish I had something in here right now that could describe. I had to hold it when I would pick it up like this. That's how big
Like
it is.
bigger than a gallon?
At least.
Oh, okay.
Massive. When you go to Whispering Canyon, you tell them, I am really, really thirsty. Can I have a large drink, please? They will bring you a large drink, and you won't finish it. Trust me, because I drink a lot when I eat, for some reason, whatever. But
I'm going to do it.
you need to do it. You need to do it. We were stuck with those 30 bottles of ketchup for about 25 minutes. There's pictures on my Facebook account of our table with 30 bottles of ketchup on it.
I
And
saw the ketchup picture.
yeah, finally, somebody else asked for ketchup. He grabbed 15, and I grabbed 15, and there we were like this, holding ketchup in my arms all the way to the next table. And all he could say was, thank you, because they were getting in the way. We couldn't move them out of the way in order to eat or anything. The experience there was fantastic. The food was fantastic. I was very, very happy. I cannot wait to go back to that place and have dinner again because it's hands down one of my new favorites. I'd love to go back there. Next day was Epcot, of course, where we got to see you and Aljon there in Mexico, and also got to meet some other Sorcerer Radio listeners as well. Got to meet and talk with them a little bit.
Yeah, you met. That's where you met our friends Jason and Jen, who are part of the Music City Musketeers.
Yes,
here in
exactly.
Nashville. That's right. You met both of them.
That's right, exactly. Had some good Fast Pass experiences there. I didn't have really any problems at all. Did not do anything food and wine whatsoever while I was at Epcot. Nothing.
Not one?
Not one. I take
Shame
that
on
back.
you.
Do I take that back? Yes, I do take that back. I do take that back. I did do one thing. One.
Did you have a drink?
Beer. I did beer. Because I was interested to see when you had talked a couple of weeks about couple of weeks ago here on the show about the different glasses that were being used for the beer flights. I was really interested to see the big difference in the size of the glasses and how much you actually got and everything. So naturally, I had a lot of beer while I was at Epcot. Yes.
Which place did you get your beer at?
Just Germany.
Germany.
Germany. I love German beer. I something
Brewers.
about it. It's good stuff. My friend didn't like it very much. He wasn't too impressed with it, so I drank his, and then had my own, and then had more.
Kind of guy.
Yeah, he's a lighter type of person when it comes to beer.
German beer is not for somebody who likes Bud Light or Miller Lite because it actually has flavor.
Yeah, it's a little bit different for him. So I didn't have any problem with drinking his. I enjoyed it tremendously.
I bet. I would too. Actually, I liked it so much that I did I did all of the beer flights in the throughout the entire festival, and then I actually came back and did one of the beer flights again and asked them to swap out the grapefruit for one of the other beers in the other flight.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all for doing that. Because I love my beer. I can't. That was the one thing I said.
I did the Brewers collection, bought the pint glass, see?
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing that. Yeah. I should have gotten that.
I am a beer drinker. I drink wine, beer, cocktails, but I do like beer. I guess it's the German blood.
Probably.
So.
Probably so.
So I had to get, and I like the design they did with it. I think they did a great job this year with.
They did do really well with theming the merchandise, and that's something else. I actually did go over to the Festival Center there in the Wonders of Life Pavilion for food and wine. Very impressed with that setup and the different merchandise that's available, all the wine that's available. In that, there's a lot to choose from. Not only international wines, but also local wines as well, which was very interesting to see. A lot of different Florida wines to choose from. You wouldn't know that they would have that many, but there were a lot. So I was really impressed with that.
I meant to buy the key lime wine, and I forgot. But I did remember when I was there, a friend of ours was watching after the cats, and so I brought her back one of the wines.
Oh, that's good.
I told her, I said, what kind of wine? Do you like white or red? And she's like, well, Travis drinks red. I was like, okay, so then since you drink either and he drinks red it is.
Red it is. There you go. Oh,
I haven't given it to her yet, but
she'll enjoy that.
She'll get it soon.
Yeah. Did have dinner at Beer Garden as usual. Can't pass up the Beer Garden. That's just the food was just it's just that good. And a good day at Epcot, real good day, no real problems. Next day was Disney's Hollywood Studios. Really did everything that I even sat through the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular.
What?
Yeah. My friend wanted to do it, and I said, Dad, that's cool, no problem. He's into the shows and everything else like that, but it's like I told him, I've seen this thing enough to where the jokes are sour now. They just don't mean anything to me anymore. It's gotten so bad to the point to where even the big ball didn't roll down and chase Indiana Jones down, okay? It's gotten to me. And I'm just sitting there, I'm just kind of shaking my head. I'm like, this is just do something with this, please, Disney. This is ridiculous. It's been here forever. It needs to go. Or update it, or anything. I don't know. But, Star Tours, we wanted to see Lights, Motors, Action. We did not get time to see it. Did go over to Wandering Oaken's Trading Post. Checked out the merchandise in there. Got to play a little bit in the snow, if you want to call it that. Yes, I did. I did not wait in line the 30 minutes like everybody else. We just kind of sat there off to the side and watch the kids play. I talked to one of the cast members while we were there, and he said to me, early in the morning, the first group of people that usually show up, it really is actual fluffy, powdery snow. But throughout the day, it turns into this, it's like shaved ice that you would put on an ice.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like Chicago after a 12-inch, ice snowstorm, and then it has frozen, and people have driven on it and everything else. That's what it turns into. But it was nice and cool in there. The theming was great. Made a couple of snowballs and threw it at them and everything else. We had fun with it. It was nice. And the kids were loving it. I loved watching the kids and getting to see them, build a couple of things and everything. So that was nice. Dinner that evening was for... Let me think here. Where did we go? It was right there on the tip of my tongue. Let's see, we had Boma. It was Boma that night. That's where we went. Okay. Had to go back to Boma and have my hummus that I absolutely love there because the hummus is fantastic. And just all around, a good dining experience to a point.
How was the food?
Food was great. Food was fantastic.
Was it consistent?
Very consistent. Yes, that's
Okay.
my.
Because
That's,
you remember what happened last time when all of us went for dinner
oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and the soup was not the same and it tasted like rotten fish and I spit it out. I've never spit out food.
yeah. It
I mean, oh,
since that trip, I've been there 3 times since we did that, and it's been consistent since then. So hopefully they fixed that problem. My only real issue with that was the actual service itself. The cast member who was our waiter, um, it just no, he did not do a very good job at
he was
all.
less than magical.
Yeah, that's the nice way of putting it, I guess. Really.
Was he rude or just gave bad service?
Bad service is what it was. He wasn't rude. It was just bad service.
Yeah.
So, but it didn't ruin the experience, so that was okay. Uh, let's see here. How much? I got to check the time real quick. Okay. Next day, we have about 20 minutes left, I guess. Next day was we started off in the morning at Animal Kingdom. We left mid-morning from Animal Kingdom, which you can do because it's just that easy to do what you want and then leave. Ran over to the Magic Kingdom, and that's where I had my opportunity to enjoy the Be Our Guest restaurant for lunch because I was given that Fast Pass Plus option.
I so want them to send me that.
Oh, it's Kristen, it's good. I had the braised pork dish, which has the braised pork, it has green beans in it, and it also has these potatoes. And
Anything that starts with the word braised is always good.
that you put it in your mouth and it just melts away like cotton candy. I mean, it just oof. And my experience at Be Our Guest was almost ruined. Almost.
By
Another person that was vacationing at Walt Disney World almost ruined it for me.
what did they do?
I wanted to see it sit over in the east wing of the restaurant where they have the rows.
Uh-huh.
That's the theme room that I wanted to, and I was hoping, I was like, gosh, I hope there's a table available. So we ordered, we walked in, took a few pictures. I walk over to the east wing, and I see a table available. So I beeline straight to it. I was like, I'm good to go. Took my bag, put it down. My friend Rob was over taking some pictures of the rows and everything. I was like, I'll take my pictures after dinner and everything. I've got this table. I'm good to go. But while I'm watching him do that, I'm standing there at the table, got my bag on it and stuff. I turn around to go and sit down, and another lady has come up behind me, has thrown her bags onto the table, and has sit down and looks at me and says, "Oh, we're sitting here. We've been waiting for this table."
Did you say I was here first?
I did. I said, I just walked up here not 20 seconds ago and threw my bag down here on the table. That's why I'm here, because we're sitting at this table. No, we were waiting for it. Where were you? And she just wouldn't say anything to me.
I wouldn't have gone up. I would have, the way I am, I would have sat there and stood my ground and been like, I need you to go get a cast member because I'm not leaving our seat.
My boiling point was, it was way up here, you know, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to do this. You're not going to ruin this for me. So I just kind of said, fine, whatever. Turned around and just walked away. And my friend Rob, he said to me, he said, you would not believe the glare that woman gave you as you walked away from the table. That's fine. Needless to say, I was pissed. I was real pissed. And I just found the next table that was available in the big dining hall and took that one.
All I can say is it's a good thing it wasn't me that happened to, because there would have been security involved in that situation, because I would be getting up and her and I would have had words.
And the interesting part, Kristen, is the fact that you know how Disney does with their lunch time experience at Be Our Guest. You order your food, you go to your table, your food is brought to you. Disney knows this because they track your Magic Band. There are sensors in the table that track your magic band, or they track the rows that Disney gives you, and that's how they know what table.
Yeah.
The interesting part was Disney was already at the table where I was standing. The cast member looked at me. He said, "Can I see your ticket, please?" I said, "Yeah, sure. Here you go." "Oh, Mr. Davis, okay." But I had to walk away because I was about to get really pissed off and probably say something I did not need to say to this lady. And
No, you probably needed to say it to her.
I said to the
It was
cast
well
member, I said,
deserved.
"I'm sorry, we have to go to another table." And he said, "Okay, that's fine, no problem." And so we went to our table, and he waited about another minute or so and found where we were and gave us our food. It was the food that put me in a better mood
That's good.
with the first bite that I took.
Rescued the meal for you.
The food rescued the meal. The look outside that big bay window with the snow falling, that helped as well. That helped save the experience. She almost ruined it for me, and I would have been really pissed off if she did, but the food saved me. So I was really happy about that. Very, very, very satisfied with what they have going on there at Be Our Guest Restaurant. It is fantastic, and I can't wait to one of these days, hopefully before I die, get to enjoy dinner service there as well and experience the whole other part, of the Be Our Guest Restaurant. But did Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Waited 75 minutes to do the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Oh my gosh.
When we got in line, it said 60. By the time we got onto the attraction itself and sat down, it had been over 75 minutes.
Wow.
But totally worth it. Totally worth it. I mean, that attraction is awesome. Hands down awesome. That's why I was so devastated when they said, fire on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I went, oh, I was just on that 24 hours ago. What the hell? Don't do that.
I can't wait. I cannot wait that long for a ride.
No, because if it had been serious damage,
I didn't that long for Rip Ride Rocket because it broke down, and Alton and I, when we're done, we're like, we did it once, and if there's a long line again, we're never waiting for that. I just can't wait that long. I'm so used to like the fast pass and going when knowing where to go, which direction to go at Disney, and not have to wait a long time for attractions. That once it hits 20 minutes past that, then it's considerable. Like, do I really want to do this?
Yeah.
We didn't ride Pirates because it was 45 minutes, and I was not going to wait 45 minutes for Pirates. like that'll still be there next time.
Yeah. But yeah, again, fantastic attraction, and went over to Epcot after that. So we did 3 parks in one day. Did a couple of other attractions. Had dinner in Mexico. Very good experience. Very good food as always in Mexico. It was great there. Now,
you went to San Angel Land or La Hacienda?
San Angel.
Okay.
I did La Hacienda last time, and I had not done San Angel in a while, so I figured I'd give them another shot.
And it was okay?
It was good. It was good. Yeah. I was impressed. The fish tacos were very, very good. Very good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. There were a couple of things that kind of irritated me on my trip, real quick, because we're short on time. And it wasn't so much the normal Walt Disney World pet peeves that you hate that people do on their vacations that annoy you. And this time it was things that cast members did.
Oh. That's
hands down, I think this is what it was. There were a lot of cast members working there at Walt Disney World who just downright had a crappy attitude.
Oh, yeah. I think the majority of the people who work over at Walt Disney World now don't want to be there. It's not like it used to be, and it's not like it is out in Disneyland. Disneyland, the cast members are always just awesome.
I don't know what the problem is, but the normal smile on your face and, so happy you're here, and just this welcoming type of vibe that you get from a cast member was not there. It just wasn't there.
No, it's a universal attitude.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. Last year, when I went to Universal, spent a couple of days at Universal, the people that work there, there's a smile on their face. Welcome, hi, how are you, and all this stuff. In a way, the people working at Universal had a better attitude than what they did at Walt Disney World last week. And I said to myself, there's something not right. Something's wrong. Because when you have a bad attitude with a cast member at Walt Disney World, you're ruining the experience.
Oh, yeah.
You're ruining it. And you're not just doing it for me. You're doing it with every person that comes on that attraction, or any person that you're serving food to, or anybody that you're getting tickets and stuff. It's Disney. You've got to don't have a crappy attitude. But I experienced a lot of that. And I was very, very disappointed to see that. Was not expected.
No, because when that happens, then that also makes people more irritated and more likely to snap at the next cast member. I mean, it's like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
You know, when people expect, and there's plenty of people that are jerks to people. I mean, I've worked retail and restaurants for over 20 years now, and people are not nice, and you have to bite your tongue and deal with it.
Yeah.
And if you can't, Disney's definitely not the place for you. And you have to still turn around and smile. And I feel like if something really bad happened and you need to step away, then you need to get your manager and say, I need to step away. Step away for 10 minutes, take a break, grab a drink.
Yeah.
Smoke. Don't do it, but okay.
Whatever.
Just come back, take a deep breath, come back, and
it doesn't come. It's not just the fact of how many here, 2, how many here, 1, how many here, 3, how many. It's not just that. It's how you carry yourself.
I'm bothering you attitude.
Yes. That I'm bothering you attitude, and this look on your face of I don't want to be here.
A lot of that, yeah.
I see a lot of that. And I understand you're on your feet all day. It's hot. You're dealing with people and everything else. But there's a certain way. You're trained a certain way to be a Disney cast member.
Yeah, they're not following through with the cast member traditions and things like that they're trained with. It's really bad. Well, I told you last year I got into it with the cast members at security. When I had both of those knee braces and was going through physical therapy of them being nasty. I'll tell you, though, the best, overall, I would say the best cast members are security. This trip around, I did not have one cast member that was not, you know, you show them your match band, they scan it, and then they're like, you know, Ms. Hoetzel, go. Do you need directions somewhere? Do you know where that restaurant is? And you have a good day and welcome home and blah. I mean, just big smile. So I don't know if that had maybe other people had problems and had complained, like I did last time, and that was being dealt with because Disney called me.
Yeah.
And said, this is not how we handle. This is not the way we train our employees. This is not acceptable. We are clearly missing the boat on training here, and I will be looking into this. And some people could be out of jobs. Which I hate for anybody to lose their job, but you've got to be nice to people. It's not cheap to go to Disney, and people are going there for that experience of magic.
Yeah, they are. Exactly. I don't think that's happening now. Maybe I just caught him on a bad week or a bad day or something. Maybe it's the water they drank. Maybe they had a fight with their boyfriend or girlfriend.
It's been that way the entire year.
I don't get it. I just don't get it, and I did not expect that. It did not ruin my vacation, but as many times as I have visited Walt Disney World since 1984, that is the first time I've ever seen cast members act in that manner before. First time. And it's unacceptable.
Oh, I agree.
When down the street at Universal, whatever they're called, their cast members are bringing you the type of experience you expect from Disney. Not that Universal's a bad place, don't get me wrong. They do have some fantastic things.
I told you I bought an annual pass last
Right?
December,
Right?
so
Yeah. But
I'll
you
tell
just
you though they did a great job with both Harry Potter areas and the cast members over there. They make it a lot of fun, you know.
here's what's interesting, Kristen. Universal's catching up. Universal is on a roll when they can put together the type of attractions and themed areas that they are in the short amount of time that they are. Yet it's taking Disney an entire year just to decide, well, okay, I guess we'll put the parking garage over here. Well, level 1, 3 months. Level 2, 4 months. Level 3, 6 months. I have never seen it take so long.
You know that Universal's Imagineers that are building Harry Potter are former Disney employees.
I wonder, that explains it, because it is taking Disney forever to do anything these days. Anything.
Have you seen the newest edition, the Universal side of Harry Potter?
I have not been to Diagon Alley yet.
Oh my God.
I've seen pictures, I've seen a lot of video, I've watched a lot of video.
I didn't want to look at any of it. Like, I was like, nope, I don't see it. I don't see it.
And I got to tell you, Kristen, Disney better watch out. Even though Universal doesn't have the type of land to expand and deal with and everything else, they are already building another area of Islands of Adventure. Already. And it will be up and ready to go probably before Avatar opens up at Animal Kingdom. And it will probably be themed fantastic. Fantastic. Universal's on a roll. Disney, watch out. Because a lot of families, they may be staying at Disney, they may be visiting the Disney parks, but guess what they're also doing? They're taking 1 or 2 days out of their vacation, and they're headed over to Universal. And they're spending their money there.
Well, Universal, I have access to a ticket that isn't you cannot purchase through Universal. I can sell it to you, but you can't get it. And it is a ticket that what it does is it includes transportation
I've heard about this. I've heard about this. Yeah.
Only travel agents can book it.
Yeah.
It's not available to the general public. It's something that you can purchase from them to, you know.
They'll come pick you up.
Yeah, they come and pick you up and they take you back.
Yeah. That's telling you, Universal, they're on a roll. They are definitely on a roll.
I'm telling you, next year you have to go over there and do Diagon Alley. Because
I'm probably going to have to, yeah. It's going to be next year.
It's like walking right into the movie.
Yeah, that's
I still need to see it at night. I haven't seen it at night yet. I've seen both areas during the day.
Yeah. But all around, you know, aside from cast members acting like asses at times with their little attitudes, and I'm not saying it was every cast member, but it was a lot of cast members. And aside from this woman trying to stealing my table at Be Our Guest restaurant, ultimately a really, really good trip to the Walt Disney World Resort. I was very happy. I walked away pissed off that I was leaving, but with a smile on my face at the same time, because it was that good.
The other thing you've got to do next time is do boma for breakfast instead of dinner.
I figured something out that I need to quit doing, and I've done this the last 3 or 4 years, and I need to stop. I need to start dining where I'm already at that day, because it's cutting out my time spending in the parks and experiencing different things, having to travel to the car or get a Disney bus or anything else to get to where I need to be for dinner. I need to go ahead and dine if I'm For instance, at Epcot, dine at Epcot or dine at the Boardwalk. Boardwalk is a short walk away. It's right there.
Any of the restaurants over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dine in the area.
Dine in the area. Don't drive across Disney property from the Magic Kingdom all the way to Animal Kingdom Lodge like I did. It takes a lot of time, and it takes time away from the parks. You know, where you want to be, and you're enjoying Food and Wine Festival, or you're doing the something else, whatever. I need to start dining in the location in the area that I'm in, so that's on my list for the next time. You know, I always learn something new.
Always need to add a couple of new experiences in. But I think you should do Boma for breakfast. And what was it? Oh, have you ever tried Sanaa?
I have not tried Sanaa yet, no.
You need to do Sanaa
Boma for breakfast.
and Sanaa. Those are two things you definitely need to try. I really like Sanaa. It's really good. I think you'll like it.
I'll have to try that one. I'll put that one on the list for next year then. That's when I'll.
Yeah, that night I went to dinner with my cousin and Rafael de Verona from Demouse. We all went to dinner there one night. That was fun.
Good stuff,
She's
huh?
never been there. She lives in Orlando, and she's never been over to the Animal Kingdom Lodge. It was the first time she was there and ate at Sanaa. And
Oh, wow.
I'll tell you, they've got this bread service you can get. You choose 3 out of, I think it's like 5 breads, and then you can either choose 4 accompaniments, or you can get all 9. And we did the 3 breads and all 9 accompaniments. And oh my God, I wanted more bread.
Just bread.
Accompaniments are so good.
I don't want to eat anything else, just bread.
Well, that's just good.
So, you know what, people? Those are our trip reports. My trip report, also Kristen's trip report on our recent visits to the Walt Disney World Resort as we wrap things up on the show. We definitely appreciate you watching the show and also listening to the show, either on iTunes or on Stitcher, thanks to the Weeby Geeks Network. I want to remind you, though, we'd love for you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd love for you to subscribe to the show on iTunes. Leave us a review. We'd love to know how we're doing, and if you'd like to see different things or hear different things, different topics or anything else, let us know. Leave us a review over on iTunes. I want to mention those sponsors real quick before we get out of here. Once again, book your trip with this lady right here, Kristen Hoetzel, Magical Journeys Vacation. Best opportunity to experience a great Walt Disney World vacation or any of the vacations that are offered with her. You need to use her. I've got 4 years of experience working with this lady right here. You will not be disappointed at all.
Aw, thank you.
You're welcome. Halloween Express, it may not be Halloween, but why not go ahead and start shopping for it now. Halloween Express, you can check it out on our website over at WDW After Dark. Star Wars Weekends, yes, another good point. Yeah, that's coming up soon, less than a year. Amazon.com, price, selection, and convenience. Look for a lot of things that you need for this holiday season at less than retail price. Also check out Fandango. Check out Big Hero 6 this weekend. All you need to do is get your tickets from Fandango, get them before the show sells out, and you can pick up your tickets when you get there. DirectToDrive.com, where you can download and play in minutes over 2,000 PC games. Entertainment Earth, where you can get action figures, toys, gifts, collectibles, and a lot of other different things. Lots of different sponsors to check out. All you have to do is click on it, and we definitely appreciate when you do. Kristen, where can everybody find you? Where can they listen to you? Where can they read about the stuff that you talk about and everything else? Let them know.
They can visit diningatdisney.com for everything that is Disney food and restaurant related. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Flickr, all of those you'll find Dining at Disney. The only one you won't is YouTube, which is the Dining at Disney. Also, you've got WDW Tiki Room as well. It's WDW Tiki Room everywhere. And yeah, soon that podcast will be up and running as well. We're going to be starting off with that with all of the celebrity interviews, including the one that I did this morning with Chef Todd English.
Check that out on Sorcerer Radio every single Friday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. It's the show about all things Disney, and I do mean all things Disney. Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, games, food,
movies, TV, ABC Family. I mean,
See,
yeah.
it's all of it. All things Disney. Love it.
If we had something ESPN, we'd even talk about that.
There you go. You should start doing, score updates and stuff.
Scores.
While you do. Where can they find you? Did you say Twitter already?
Yep, I said all of it is
All the others?
WDW Room.
Gotcha. Okay. You can find me on Twitter at DW_60 and listen to this show every Thursday morning on Sorcerer Radio, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. DW60 covers all of the top headlines from the last 4 or 5 days from the Walt Disney World Resort. And, of course, as always, Sorcerer Radio has great Disney music all day long. Make sure you check it out. Kristen, thank you so much for joining me tonight for just a show for me and you alone.
I know, that was
This has
fun.
been fun. I have enjoyed this.
It's like having a conversation that everybody else just gets to listen into.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what. But yeah, I do.
Very different than when there's 5 of us all on.
It is. It's a different feel when it's just 2 people
Yeah.
versus the 5 people. So the conversations flow a little bit differently, and the tangents don't happen as much.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
I don't get lost in the conversations on gaming and stuff like that I'm like, I just am not interested in and start to kind of like, my eyes glaze over. And
Fade away,
and also I'll ask you a question, I'm like, what? What was the question again? Yeah.
Well,
That's
guess what?
happened.
Guess what? That's all going to happen next week right here on WDW After Dark. We
Final
will.
show.
Yeah, final. It is the final.
Awkward show, yeah.
Wow, the final show of the year. That's crazy.
I think Aljon is planning on doing like little mini, like a couple of really short things,
Like updates type thing.
update kind of things over the break, so that we're at least always putting something out, but it's not going to be, all of us in these big.
Okay. So one more big show with the Fab Five, the Talking Heads, here on WDW After Dark next Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But until then, we hope that you have a fantastic weekend. We want you to stay safe. If you're headed to the Walt Disney World Resort, have a turkey leg for me, why don't you? Because I enjoyed mine last week. Kristen, anything else before we go?
I think they should have a pork shank. That's all I got.
I need to try a pork shank next time I'm at Walt Disney World, yes.
Replace the turkey leg with the pork shank. It's better.
No. No, we don't replace the turkey leg.
We do.
We just have both at once.
Oh, gosh. That's going to cause a heart attack right there.
Probably so, but I love my food. I can't help it. That's all the time we got, folks. We got to go. I do appreciate you guys watching and listening to WDW After Dark, and we will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a pork shank.
Hear what? I'm receiving some sort of transmission. Routed through the main system. Routing.
Looking to take a Disney vacation or cruise? Contact Kristen of MagicalJourneysVacations.com. Magical Journeys is an authorized Disney vacation planner. Kristen will get you the best price available and continue to search for deals until the day you travel, taking the worry out of planning your fantastic vacation. Kristen can help plan your dining reservations and answer any questions you may have. She'll even send you maps from the parks. So contact Kristen of Magical Journeys for your next cruise or Disney vacation. Contact Kristen of Magical Journeys at MagicalJourneysVacations.com. So what are you waiting for? Book today at MagicalJourneysVacations.com.
Wow! That sounds great! I want to go! Well, you can't. Why not? Because we have to stay at our posts and keep rebel scum like him out.
Book today at MagicalJourneysVacations.com.